Hello, my name is Aaron Leung, and this is Yao Zhong, and today we are here to present our Project 2 medication monitor system. So the objective of this project is to become familiar with using Node, Node Express, Mongo, and HTML5 to build a basic backend application. For this project, we have decided to create a medication monitoring system that includes the following functionalities: querying medication, refill medication, restock medication, as well as having a dashboard that displays medications low in stock. As for technologies used, first and foremost, we are using Node.js, which allows us to execute JavaScript outside a browser and use to build backend services. On top of Node.js, we are using Node Express, which is a web framework for Node. Next, we are using MongoDB as our database to store our collections, which will include medications as well as users. Lastly, we are using HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript for our front end. So moving on to what we are most proud of, we are most proud of the organization of our code. More specifically, we are able to implement model view controller architecture with a front end, which includes our HTML pages, scripts, and styles, as well as a back end, which includes our routes and controllers. Another thing that we are proud of is that we were able to implement an additional login page that is required for users to, before they are able to use the restock and refill function. Lastly, we are also proud that we are able to connect our MongoDB locally and in init mock data. Next, so as for difficulties that we faced, for me personally, the most difficult part was understanding how to connect the front end to back end and how to return information from the back end to front end to display to users. Eventually, I learned that the key is to return all necessary information, such as message, and in our case, updated medication information through res.json. Another difficulty that we face is deploying our project to a public server. Now we will demonstrate our project, and we will be doing this locally. And I will now hand it off to Yao.
Hi, everyone. You can see the favicon that we added up there. Yeah. So firstly, this is our homepage and also the query page. We can either query the medicine by their ID, and you can see that the details in the query result. And you can see that if the stock is higher than 10, it will be green. Also, you can query the medicine by their name. And you can see that if the stock is low, it will be shown in red. And we can also go to the monitor page that shows up all the medicines that has a low stock.
Okay, so moving on to our next functions. So we also have a restock page and a refill page, but in order to access those, we have this login page that is required. So here we can sign in. For example, if the password is incorrect, we also have form validation. So now let me put in the correct password. Okay, so now once we're logged in, we can now see the refill and restock in the nav bar. So let's go back to the monitoring system and see what we have low in stock. So let's say we want to restock on eyewash. So we need the medication ID. Okay. So here's a restock form, and first we need the medication name. So this is eyewash, the medication ID, the manufacturer, and lastly, the quantity. Also in this form, we also have some form validation as well. For example, if I put in a quantity of -1, this is an invalid value. So now let me put in a positive value, let's say 10, in place order. So if a medication is successfully updated, the user will receive this feedback notice. with the updated stock. Okay, so now let's move on to the refill. Oh, actually, before we move on to the refill, if a medication is not currently in our database, that medication will instead be inserted to our database. Okay, so moving on to refill. So let's say that we want to refill, meaning ordering for the patient some eye wash. So here we need to choose either ID or name, the medication name, in this case, eye wash, the medication ID, medication ID, which is and a quantity. So let's say 5. And here we also can see that we get this feedback notice for the users. And so if the current stock falls below 0, then we will get another message saying not enough stock. So let me demonstrate this. So let's say we go to 11. We want quantity 11. So now you can see that the stock becomes 0. And so if we do this again, now we can see a different message, this time not enough medication in stock. And so overall, that is our project. Thank you for watching.